Yes, PY Football, and today we're talking about January transfer targets for Arsenal. This video was suggested by TCG, who commented a couple weeks ago saying you should make a transfer target video for January, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to start this by talking actually about a player that might leave Arsenal Football Club. Fabrizio Romano tweeted today saying AS Roma are still in talks with Arsenal for Maitland-Niles, discussion ongoing about loan fee and buy option, and the player is open to accept, but it's not fully agreed between clubs yet. So Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a fringe player at Arsenal. He's been a player at Arsenal for a few years now, come through the academy, and he just can't seem to quite break into that first team. And it seems a loan move away might be the best for him, although it is being considered that there's a buy option at the end of this, so he may permanently move to Italy, similar to what Tammy Abraham has done from Chelsea, gone to Rome, and actually done quite well there, to be fair. Last summer, Ainsley Maitland-Niles actually went on his Instagram and said he wanted to be somewhere where he was loved, where he could play football. He didn't end up going, but that showed his intentions to leave the football club. So I think in January, no matter even if he's had more games, he had a couple games towards the start of the season. I think his still intentions are to leave Arsenal Football Club. But the figure of around 8.5 million, which is talked about, I think it's too low for Maitland-Niles. He's an academy product. He's still young. He's still a versatile player that can play multiple positions. Mourinho probably likes the look of him. Why he's signing him? I think you can get around the £15 million mark. I think 8.5 is a little low, especially with the loan to buy option. But he's a player that's looking to leave the football club. I'm going to talk about incomings now, and there's quite a few. I'm going to start actually with Philippe Coutinho. It's been talked actually by Fabrizio Romano that Mikel Arteta has said if you can tweak what you need to win in that period, which is not easy, it would be really helpful. We are working on that to see the necessities we can have and whether we can find the right solutions to that. So they are looking at players, and one player they're looking at is Philippe Coutinho, of course, out of favour at Barcelona. He's he's kind of been on the fringes, let's be honest. He's ever since he came from Liverpool, he hasn't quite lit it up. He's gone out on loan to Bayern Munich, did okay there. Gone back to Barcelona now and only scored 2 goals in the La Liga this season, so not good enough by any stretch of imagination. And the Daily Mirror said that Philippe Coutinho's agents and representatives are coming to London to have advanced talks with the Gunners, but to be honest, I don't really see this one. I don't know why we'd go for someone like Coutinho. We spent this whole summer remoulding our transfer strategy to target younger players, youth players, players with lots of potential. Why would we now go for a 29-year-old Philippe Coutinho? I believe the attacking options we've got already are good. Like Emile Smith-Rowe, our top scorer this season in the Premier League, is coming off the bench right now. That shows the abundance of attacking options we have. For me, we have to target a centre midfielder and striker, not a cam. And Coutinho, let's be honest, is a buy. It's not as bad as a Willian buy, but it's that kind of player, that's past it. We're trying to buy a player with the hopes that they go back to what they were back in the day, and he's not really that type of player. But either way, we are looking at Philippe Coutinho, although I don't believe this is one we should get online. It's not logical. Although it's a signing we definitely could make on loan, it's not a logical signing in my opinion. It doesn't really address a position we need to fix, and it's not really a player that we can really been. Yes, we've been linked to him in the past, but not a player we've really been chasing. I'm thinking, right, this is our missing solution at this football club, so it's not really what I'm looking at. In terms of players I am kind of excited towards. I'm going to start with the centre midfielder, Renato Sanches. Now, we've been chasing Renato Sanches since last season. He was being talked about, and it's hotted up recently. The Lille midfielder for League One, of course, plays for Portugal in the Euros. Outstanding player on his day, absolutely unbelievable. Box midfielder, and he's definitely a position we need at the football club. We need a centre midfielder next to Partey. Of course, Xhaka's played well recently, but we definitely need another midfielder, someone that can rotate with Thomas Partey, especially now the fact that Thomas Partey and Mohamed Elneny are going to AFCON, so there will be a void in that centre midfield position. It will just be Granit Xhaka and Lokonga, basically, especially if Ainsley Maitland-Niles does decide to leave the football club. Renato Sanches himself, though, he's still only 24. He's still a young player. He's a midfielder. Plays for Lille. He's got market value of 27 million. So if we can get him around that price, it's a decent looking price. The drawback to Renato Sanches, though, of course, for me, is his injury issues. He's constantly injury prone. He's had muscular injuries to keep him out of the team for Lille. Just can't quite seem to get a consistent run of form, and especially in the Premier League, because let's be honest, the Premier League is one of the most demanding leagues in the world. The intensity the game is played at, you have to run up and down, up and down. It's not for the faint-hearted. I mean, look at Thomas Partey. The guy was never injured at Atletico Madrid. He comes to Arsenal, he's basically injured every other week. So it just shows how demanding the Premier League is. If we're already signing an injury-prone player from abroad, it's just going to look even more injury-prone. It's also the fact that he's a bit hit and miss, Sanchez. For Portugal, he does amazing. Whenever I see him at international football, he's an unbelievable footballer. What he does on the pitch, he's making chances, defending, box to box, tackling well, does everything I could ask from a midfielder. But then when it comes to domestic and for his club, he just doesn't quite hit the mark for me. He was at Swansea a couple of seasons back, didn't really do much. Bayern Munich, he didn't do much. Okay, he's doing alright at Lille now, but is that like a one-off? I mean, he's still young and still got potential, so I definitely wouldn't mind signing him. I wouldn't put down a signing, but I still think Renato Sanches is a little bit overhyped for me. But we'll see. We definitely do need a centre midfielder, and I wouldn't shy away from signing someone like Renato Sanches. Let's move on to the strikers. I'm going to start with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the Everton striker. Paul Merson, former Arsenal player, came out and said he wanted Arsenal to sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I'll talk about why. He's a 24-year-old striker, so he's going towards his prime. Does fit the young type of mould we're having at this football club. He's a Premier League striker, which means he doesn't need to adapt to the league. 40.5 million market value, although we probably will spend more considering it's an internal signing from a Premier League club in Everton who will look for a lot of money for him. He's tall, and it does fit that Arteta mould in terms of he wants a target man. He wants a focal point up front. He doesn't want to do what Guardiola does and have fluid strikers. I think he prefers a focal striker, hence why he's playing someone like Alex Lacazette that can drop in, receive the ball, use his strength, back to goal, and then have players like Martinelli and Saka run off him. So he's a player that he does fit the mould. The only problem with him is also he's injury prone. He's only played 3 games this season in the Premier League. He's been out with a fractured toe for the rest of the games. Although that being said, in the 3 games he played in, he scored in every single game. So he's 3 for 3 in terms of games to goals. But it's all good having a scoring record like that if you're not going to stay on the football pitch. We need someone that can play consistently in and out, especially with the fact that our striker situation is, I mean, it's going down. It's going down heavy. Aubameyang, don't know if he'll ever play another game for this football club. He might be out the door. Lacazette has apparently rejected a contract extension. So I don't know what's going to happen to him. Nketiah, of course, will he ever be the answer? I don't know. He's also rejected a contract extension, so he's looking to leave the club. And it's a bit early for Balogun. So right now, we could get to the end of the season and we just have Balogun as our striker, so we definitely need to sign someone. Whether that happens now in January or in summer, it's a question, but we've left it late at this football club because it's extremely hard to sign a top talent in January. And clubs know that we're desperate now, and that's the problem. If you don't have the chips in your favour, you have to appease the other club's requirements, and the other clubs know we're going for a striker, and the fact that we need a striker, the other clubs know they can just play to their rules and be like, no, you have to give us this money, then they can demand higher. It's not like we're going there with Lacazette locked up, with Aubameyang in full form, and we're looking to replace them. They're going and they're thinking, right, if they don't sign a striker, they'll still be okay. They know that Arsenal are desperate for a striker, so they're going to try and milk every single penny out of our club. So, and the fact that we're going in January and teams are reluctant to sell in January, it just mixes for a bad formula. So we're going to struggle to sign a proper striker this January, I believe. But he is a player we're looking at, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, although he is injured. It's also the fact that Everton have literally firmed his injury for so long now. He's been injured basically since August, and he's going to just get back in January, and then they're going to sell him straight away. It's always like, why do we spend all this time faith in him to wait for him to come back just for him to go? So I think it's unlikely. The other player though, this one does get me excited. Dusan Vlahovic. Now, if you haven't heard of him at the start of the season, you definitely would have heard of him now. Unbelievable striker at Serie A, playing for Fiorentina there. 21 years old. He's a millennial, born in 2000. A market value of 70 million euros. And to be fair, even that is looking a bit low right now. In 20 Serie A games, he scored 16 goals and had 3 assists, meaning his goal and assist return for games played is net positive. 21 goals and assists compared to 20 games. Wow. Unbelievable striker he is. And he, honestly, it saddens me because he's a player that we can't really get in terms of, you'd think, why would he come to Arsenal? If you've got teams like Real Madrid, like Man City, like PSG, for example, looking for a striker. Chelsea, not Chelsea, they got Lukaku. But all those teams are looking for a striker. You're thinking he's going to pick one of them rather than Arsenal. But then again, it also comes to the fact that the striker market is a bit inflated right now in terms of you've got Erling Haaland, who will leave this summer for £70 million. There's no way he stays at Borussia Dortmund. You've got Harry Kane potentially leaving Tottenham. Now, there's a few strikers on the list right now, and is Vlahovic a more enticing prospect than Erling Haaland? I don't think so. So that makes him second-rate striker. Look, at the end of the day, if we can pull off Vlahovic, it'd be a hell of a signing because he is literally what fits Arteta's mould. He is a player that can have his back to goal, can receive the ball and play off him. Exactly what Arteta wants. He's clinical in front of goal. Exactly what Arsenal and Arteta wants. He's someone that's tall, can win headers, score with his feet and with his head. He's looking like the type of striker Arteta, I believe, what I've seen Arteta's style is built around someone like Vlahovic. So if we can go all out for someone like him, it'd be unbelievable. Of course, there's a talks that his agent has already rejected moves to Arsenal. I mean, if that's the case, I don't want someone that's going to reject Arsenal. I don't want someone that's going to look at Arsenal and think, it's a second-rate club. Although the other clubs going from the likes of Real Madrid, Man City, etc., are top grade clubs right now, Arsenal isn't a club to sniff at and think, it's second rate. So if that's the case, I don't want him. But that being said, he is a hell of a striker, and a striker that I think would drastically improve this football club. I mean, just think about having him up front, the clinicality he has. If he had some of the chances that Lacazette and Aubameyang have missed this season, we could be in a way different position. We're already in a good position at this table, and in fact, we only need a couple more players to really push us up and start challenging higher. It's just really exciting to see, and I think Vlahovic will be one of those players, fits the mould, still only 21 years old, fits that young criteria we are really striving for at this football club. I think he'd be one hell of a striker. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below any other players you think Arsenal will be looking at. Let me know what you thought about the players that I've covered in this video. It's going to be an interesting January transfer window for us. Of course, I'm going to cover everything on Why Football, talking about any players that we're linked to, heavily linked to, and of course, when we sign them, give analysis on the players themselves. If you're new around, if you enjoy Arsenal and football-related content, please consider subscribing on my road to 700 and drop a like down below so this video gets out to more people. I've been Why Football, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.